Ladies and gentlemen, let me tell you something that most women don't realize about men, especially when it comes to love. See, people think men's fantasies are all physical, but when a man truly loves a woman, it ain't about lust anymore. It's about loyalty, protection, and pride. When a man's heart is invested, his fantasies shift from what he can get from her to what he can give to her. When a man truly loves a woman, he expresses that love in a language far deeper than words or gifts, through protection and pride. You can tell when a man's heart is in it because his instincts shift. He starts thinking like a protector, not a player. His focus isn't just on impressing her anymore. It's on keeping her safe. Safe from pain, safe from disrespect, safe from the world that might not value her the way he does. That's what real love looks like when it lives inside a man. You see, protection doesn't just mean fighting somebody in the street for her. It's much more than that. It's about emotional security. It's the way he steps in when she's overwhelmed, the way he shields her from unnecessary stress, the way he listens when her heart is heavy. That's protection. A man feels most alive when he knows he's providing that safety. It gives him pride. It makes him feel strong, useful, and respected. And let me tell you something. Pride is a huge part of a man's love. Not pride in a selfish way, but pride that comes from knowing he's the man she can count on. When he walks beside her, he wants people to see her glow and know that's my woman. He takes pride in her achievements, her confidence, her peace. Because when she's shining, it means he's doing something right. That's how men love, by building a woman's world strong enough that she doesn't have to fight every battle alone. Men don't always say, I love you the way women expect. Sometimes their love shows up in action. Fixing something that's broken, checking if she made it home safe, standing up for her when she's not around. That's their way of saying you matter to me. See, a man's love isn't loud, but it's loyal. It's that steady hand that reaches out in silence, that quiet look that says, I got you. When he loves you, he starts thinking long-term, not about the next date, but about the next decade. He wants to build something to give her something lasting. And when a man finds that one woman who makes him feel both needed and appreciated, his pride in her becomes his pride in himself. He'll talk about her with a smile that says everything his words can't. He'll defend her even when she's not around, because protecting her name feels like protecting his own heart. That's why men don't fantasize about controlling women they love. They fantasize about covering them, uplifting them, being the reason she feels safe enough to dream big. Because when a man truly loves, his pride doesn't come from being the strongest man in the room. It comes from being strong for her. That's what fills his chest with meaning. That's what makes him walk taller, speak softer, and love harder. A man's heart is at peace when the woman he loves feels protected and proud to call him hers. A man's deepest fantasy when he truly loves a woman isn't about control, power, or even passion. It's about giving her emotional safety. When a man falls in love, his greatest desire is to be the person she can exhale with. The world might see him as tough, confident, or even stubborn, but around the woman he loves, he wants to be soft. He wants to be trusted. He dreams about creating a space where she doesn't have to hide her emotions or pretend she's okay when she's not. That's what emotional safety is. It's when a woman knows that no matter how crazy life gets, she has someone who will hold her steady not judge her, not leave when she's vulnerable. A man who's truly in love fantasizes about being that person. You see, men aren't as complicated as people think. They crave appreciation and purpose. When a man loves you, he wants to know that you feel safe in his presence. It's not about being perfect, it's about being consistent. He dreams of giving you comfort, of being your calm in a storm. That's why you'll notice that when he's in love, he'll start paying attention to the little things, your moods, your energy, your silence. He'll sense when something's off because your peace becomes his responsibility. He might not always have the right words, but he'll do whatever he can to make things right. That's love in motion. A man's fantasy isn't about rescuing a woman. It's about being allowed to care for her. There's a difference. He doesn't want to be her savior. He wants to be her safe space. That's the quiet dream that plays in his heart. When he sees her smile, laugh, or relax in his arms, it gives him something no money or success ever could, a sense of worth. He feels like he's doing what he was made to do, protect and provide emotionally. For men, that's sacred. When he sees her peaceful, it validates everything inside him, right? Because it builds up. It makes his, and when a man loves like that, he starts opening up too. Emotional safety works both ways. When he feels trusted, he starts sharing his fears, his goals, his secrets. He lets his guard down, something most men rarely do. That's how you know it's real love. When he starts to talk about what scares him, what drives him, what he dreams about late at night. Because for a man, being emotionally open is not easy, it's risky. But when he finds that one woman who makes him feel like he can be himself, no judgment, no games, that's where he wants to stay. That's the fantasy. Not power, not perfection, but peace. To love and be loved in a way that feels safe. To be the man she runs to, not the one she runs from. That's what every real man dreams of when he loves a woman. To give her the kind of emotional safety that makes her heart rest easy and makes his soul finally feel at home. When a man is truly in love, his biggest fantasy isn't about control or ownership. It's about providing, but not just financially. Real men dream about providing stability, peace, and comfort to the woman they love. When he loves deeply, he wants to be the reason she feels secure, not just in her life, but in her spirit. Providing is his way of loving. It's how he says, I got you, without saying a word. You'll see it in how he plans ahead, how he pays attention, how he makes sure she never has to question where she stands. To a real man, giving is more satisfying than receiving. That's how love transforms him. From wanting attention to wanting to be her foundation. See, a man's natural instinct is to build. He wants to create something that lasts. And when he's in love, that instinct gets focused on her. He starts imagining a life where she doesn't have to struggle alone. He wants to provide not because she's weak, but because she's worth it. He doesn't see her as dependent. He sees her as precious. Providing becomes a form of worship. He wants to build a life where she's protected, where her dreams have room to grow, where she can breathe easy because she knows she's supported. That's the part of love most men don't talk about. It's not about dominance, It's about devotion. A man in love doesn't fantasize about having control. He fantasizes about being enough. Enough to make her smile. Enough to ease her worries. Enough to make her feel like life is a little easier because he's in it. When he provides, it's not about ego, it's about purpose. That's why you'll notice that a man in love will work harder, focus more, dream bigger. Love motivates him to level up. It brings out the best version of him because now his goals have meaning. He's not just working for himself, he's working for them. And let me tell you something powerful. A man who truly loves you doesn't want to take your independence. He wants to add to it. He wants to be the kind of man who supports your strength, not suppresses it. Because he understands that love isn't about control, it's about contribution. His fantasy isn't to see her beneath him, it's to stand beside her and know that together they're unstoppable. That's how real men think when they're in love. At the end of the day, a man's greatest desire is to give, to provide not just a roof over her head, but peace in her heart. He wants to give her stability, consistency, and the kind of love that makes her feel safe enough to dream again. Because when a man loves a woman, his fantasy isn't about owning her, it's about building something beautiful that they both can call home. When a man truly loves a woman, something deep inside of him shifts. He starts to crave being her hero, not her boss. He doesn't want to control her. He wants to protect her. He doesn't want to lead her by force. He wants to guide her with love. A real man's fantasy isn't about power. It's about purpose. When he's in love, he dreams of being the man she can depend on. The one who shows up when no one else does. The one who wipes her tears and stands tall when life gets heavy. That's what makes him feel alive, being her safe place, her strength, her quiet hero. He wants to be the one who gives her hope when she's tired and peace when she's scared. That's the kind of role that makes a man feel like a man. You see, every man carries a natural instinct to protect. It's built into his heart. But when he loves, that instinct grows stronger. He starts noticing things, what stresses her out, what makes her smile, what makes her feel seen. He begins to move differently because he's thinking about her peace before his own. He may not say it out loud, but his actions start speaking louder. He'll take the hard road if it means she can walk the easy one. He'll carry extra weight if it means she can breathe a little lighter. That's what a man's love looks like when it's real. Quiet, strong, and selfless. A man who loves deeply doesn't want to be her leader by title. He wants to be her partner in truth. He doesn't crave control, he craves trust. He wants her to believe in him, not because he's perfect, but because he's committed. That's why he works hard to prove himself, not through words, but through consistency. When he promises something, he keeps it. When she needs him, he shows up. Because to him, love is not a game, it's an honor. And being her hero doesn't mean he saves her every time. It means he stands with her every time. What makes this kind of man special is that he doesn't compete with her strength. He admires it. He doesn't try to silence her voice. He listens to it because he knows her power doesn't threaten him. It inspires him. His fantasy isn't to be above her. It's to walk beside her while holding her hand proudly. That's real masculinity, not domination, but dedication. In his heart, a man wants to be remembered as the one who showed up, the one who stayed steady, the one who loved her right. To him, being her hero isn't about fame or praise. It's about peace. It's about knowing that because of him, her world feels a little safer. Her smile comes a little easier, and her heart beats with a little more trust. That's the kind of dream a man lives for when he truly loves a woman. When a man truly loves a woman, one of his greatest fantasies is to be chosen back. See, a man can give his all, his time, his energy, his loyalty, but deep down, what he dreams of most is knowing that the woman he loves chooses him just as deeply as he chooses her. Every man may act tough on the outside, but on the inside, there's a quiet hope beating in his heart. Please choose me the way I've chosen you. He wants to feel seen, valued, and appreciated for more than what he provides. He wants to be wanted. And that desire isn't about ego, it's about connection. A man's spirit thrives when he knows that his woman isn't just with him, but for him. When a man loves, he gives from a place of sincerity. He'll move mountains, work harder, and push through his fears. But what keeps him going is not just love itself, it's reciprocity. He wants to feel that what he's given isn't being taken for granted. He dreams about those moments when she looks at him with pride, when she speaks life into him, when she believes in him, even when the world doesn't. That's what makes a man's heart burn with devotion. Being chosen back gives him strength. It reminds him that he's not fighting alone. Because no matter how strong a man appears, every man wants to feel needed, not for his money or his muscle, but for his heart. Men may not say it out loud, but love makes them vulnerable. It's risky for them to open up, to trust, to commit fully. But when they do and that love is matched, that's when they flourish. When he feels chosen, he becomes softer in his spirit, but stronger in his purpose. He'll walk differently, talk differently, and think differently because he's got something real to protect. That's the power of mutual love. It shapes a man. It reminds him that he's enough, that he doesn't have to perform or prove himself constantly. When a woman loves a man back with the same intensity, it awakens something sacred in him. He feels safe to be his full self, not just the strong version, but the emotional, uncertain, human version too. He fantasizes about having that one woman who sees him, all of him, and still says, I choose you. That kind of love gives him peace, motivation, and courage. It's what every man wants deep down, to be accepted and chosen without conditions. At his core, a man's heart beats for loyalty. He doesn't need grand gestures. He needs reassurance. He needs to know that he's not replaceable, that the love he gives means something. When he feels that, he'll give his all without hesitation, because being chosen back doesn't just make him feel loved. It makes him feel home. And that's the deepest fantasy of every man who truly loves a woman. A man's greatest fantasy when he truly loves a woman isn't about luxury, success, or attention. It's about peace. Deep down, a man doesn't just want excitement. He wants calm. When he's with the woman he loves, he dreams of peace that feels like home. The world already asked him to fight, to hustle, to carry burdens. Every day he has to wear armor at work, in society, sometimes even around friends. But when he comes home to her, he doesn't want to keep fighting. He wants rest. He wants to breathe without feeling judged, to speak without being attacked, to sit beside her and feel like everything's going to be okay. That peace, that quiet understanding is the thing a man values more than anything when he truly loves a woman. You see, when a man is in love, his heart naturally seeks stability. He doesn't want drama, chaos, or games. He wants a connection that soothes him.